They laughed at blockchain until it started replacing the entire financial system. When blockchain first emerged, it was mocked. The headlines called it a fad. Executives laughed it off as internet money for hackers and outcasts. Even major banks dismissed it as a passing experiment, too slow, too risky, too fringe. But they're not laughing anymore, because the very technology they ridiculed is now quietly rebuilding the foundations of the global financial system, brick by digital brick. At first, blockchain was synonymous with Bitcoin. One coin, one use case. But beneath that coin was a technology that allowed for something far more revolutionary: the ability to store and transfer value without needing permission, banks, or middlemen. That scared people. It still does. Because for the first time in modern history, the gatekeepers of money, banks, governments, clearinghouses, payment processors, no longer had a monopoly on the rules. Blockchain introduced an entirely new way to move value. And not just faster, better. Today, this technology is no longer just a crypto experiment. It's becoming the plumbing of a new financial order. We now have blockchains capable of moving money across the world in seconds at a fraction of the cost of SWIFT. XRP and Stellar can settle cross-border payments in under 5 seconds. No corresponding banks. Number 3-day wait. No inflated fees. What used to take a week now takes seconds. And it's not just speed, it's transparency. Every transaction is recorded, publicly verifiable, and mathematically secured. There's no room for shady backroom deals or secret bailouts. That alone makes blockchain not just an upgrade, but a revolution. Even governments are waking up. Over 130 countries are exploring digital currencies built on blockchain infrastructure. Central banks are testing settlement layers powered by distributed ledgers. Multinational corporations are building payment systems on open protocols. This isn't fringe anymore. It's becoming the standard. It all started with a technology they once laughed at. Remember when moving money internationally required filling out forms, waiting days, and praying nothing got lost in the middle? That entire system is being replaced. Quietly, systematically. RippleNet, powered by XRP, is already connecting financial institutions across continents, providing instant liquidity and settlement. Stellar is helping humanitarian organizations send funds directly to the unbanked. Hedera and Algorand are pioneering new infrastructure for enterprise and government-grade use cases. These aren't coins. They're not gambling chips. They're the foundation of a new economy. And here's the part nobody predicted: the rise of self-custody. More people than ever now hold their assets in private wallets. They don't need a bank account. They don't need permission to access their funds. They don't need to wait for the banking hours to transfer value. Their money is live, 24/7, 365, with no middleman. The joke used to be that blockchain was a solution looking for a problem. Now the legacy system is the problem, and blockchain is the only viable solution. It's not just banks losing relevance. It's every institution that relied on opacity, delay, and control to extract value from the system. Middlemen who used to justify their existence with complexity are being replaced with code that does the job instantly and for free. We're not just replacing systems, we're replacing power structures. Think about loans. The old way: go to a bank, prove your worth, beg for approval, wait weeks. The new way: connect your wallet, post collateral, receive funds in minutes, all through smart contracts. Think about identity. The old way: trust institutions to vouch for who you are. The new way: decentralized identity stored on chain, verifiable by anyone, owned by you. Think about markets. The old way: only elites can access private investments. The new way: tokenized assets tradable globally, anytime, from your phone. This is happening right now. And still, many don't see it. Because like most revolutions, this one is quiet at first, but the impact is exponential. As adoption spreads, the cracks in the old system become impossible to ignore. Already, major institutions are shifting behind the scenes. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, BlackRock, they're not laughing anymore. They're building, acquiring, integrating, preparing, because they know what's coming. They understand that the infrastructure being built today will run the world tomorrow. That the settlement systems of the future aren't back-office paperwork. They're lines of code written by anonymous devs, governed by public consensus, and accessible to everyone. And they know there's no stopping it. Because once people experience financial freedom, real freedom, they don't go back. Once they send money instantly across the world without a fee, they don't wait 3 days. Once they earn yield without a middleman, they don't beg a bank for better rates. Once they own their wealth, they don't hand it back. This is the silent transfer of power. From institutions to individuals, from closed systems to open networks, from gatekeepers to builders. So yes, they laughed at blockchain. But that laugh is starting to sound like fear. And if you're ready to stop laughing and start building, subscribe to Wealth Signal. We break down the quiet revolution, decode the new economy, and show you how to build real wealth while the old system fades away. What makes this moment so powerful is that the shift isn't coming from regulators or politicians. It's coming from builders. Developers around the world are creating tools that bypass the old limitations, not because they want to fight the system, but because they want to make it better. They're building protocols that allow people to lend, borrow, invest, and exchange value without borders. They're creating platforms where assets can be represented digitally, allowing for near-instant transfer of ownership. And they're doing it with open code, not behind closed doors. This shift also empowers communities. Local economies that were once cut off from global finance can now participate directly. Farmers, creators, freelancers, and entrepreneurs can now tap into capital flows once reserved for the elite. When everyone has access, everyone has a shot. And as this technology spreads, it will change how we think about value itself. Not just money, but data, identity, ownership. Blockchain lets us prove who owns what without needing an institution to confirm it. That sounds simple, but it's one of the most powerful changes in human history. We're talking about a world where your identity is yours, portable, provable, and secure. Where you can invest in projects around the world with a few taps. Where real estate, stocks, bonds, and even ideas can be tokenized and exchanged freely, transparently, and instantly. The implications are massive. It won't happen overnight, but it's already happening faster than most people realize. Just like the internet transformed information, blockchain is transforming trust. And trust, at the end of the day, is the backbone of all finance. The irony is that the very people who laughed at blockchain are now quietly trying to control it. But open networks don't ask for permission. And once a tool is released into the world, its impact becomes inevitable. That's why this moment matters. Because you still have time to position yourself on the right side of history, to learn how the rails of the new economy work, to own the assets that form the infrastructure of tomorrow. Don't wait for the headlines to catch up. By then, the opportunity will already belong to someone else. If you're serious about building wealth in the system that's replacing the old one, now is the time to act. Don't wait for the headlines or the institutions to tell you it's safe, because by the time they do, the opportunity will be gone. Subscribe to Wealth Signal right now. We break down the trends the mainstream won't touch, uncover the hidden shifts shaping your financial future, and arm you with the knowledge to get ahead before the world catches up. If you want to build lasting wealth, you need to understand the system that's coming, not the one that's fading. So hit that subscribe button and take your place on the right side of history.